Oh yeah, what's up YouTube? It is your Lord and Savior, the Macho King, King D353, and I am here to tell you about the greatest pay-per-view of all time, the WWE Payback pay-per-view, which honestly isn't that great, but screw it, I'm Macho Man, and you will listen to what I say. Yeah, I'm not gonna do the entire video. Alright, so I was a little bit distracted during most of this, so as per usual, some of these matches' descriptions aren't going to be as on point as they should be. The first match was between R-Truth and Stardust. There really is nothing special about this match. R-Truth dominated the beginning, Stardust found an opening. Stardust decimated R-Truth for a while, started smacking him around with his glove. His cockiness ended up being his downfall as R-Truth smacked him across the face, danced a bit, and then hit him with Little Jimmy. 1, 2, 3. R-Truth defeats Stardust. No one cares. And then came the match that everybody, all the Hulkamaniacs, and all the Macho... What was Macho Man's fans called? I don't think his fans had a name. Oh well. The match everyone was waiting for! Hulkamania and Macho Madness combined in the ring to face the Legion of Doom! Wait, no. It wasn't the Legion of Doom. It was, the Detention! Yeah, that's it. The Detention. So Axelmania and Macho Mandow came out. Their eyes filled with power. The crowd was a ruckus. The room was electric. Axelmania hulked up. He laid it to smack down. Wait, no, he's not The Rock. Fucking, I'm done trying to be Macho Man. Axel hulked up. He laid the leg down. One of the Ascension, I don't know well, I know their names, I just don't know which one's which. I can't remember if it was the small one or the big one. But the partner knocks him off. Partner knocks down Mandow. They work together to beat down on Axelmania. Axel clotheslines one and gets a tag in on Mandow. Mandow comes in. Sorry, not Mandow. Macho Mandow comes in and starts beating down the Ascension. One of the Ascension members comes in to try to help his partner, but Macho Mandow ducks and Axelmania pulls down the top ropes that he topples over the top. Macho Mandow then power slams one and goes up top for his elbow. Sadly, the Ascension member on the outside pulls down Axelmania and tosses him into the steel post. Afterwards, he climbs up and knocks Macho Mandow down off the top rope. Why is it so hard for me to remember these names? Anyway, with Macho Mandow now down for, well, not for good, but about to be down for good, he tags, they both get in, sets him up, Fall of Humanity, 1, 2, 3, the Legion of Doom wins. With that, the pre-show is over and the actual pay-per-view gets to start, with the opening contest being Sheamus vs. Dolph Ziggler. This, again, goes through the regular formula. Ziggler starts off winning, then Sheamus is winning, and then Ziggler makes a comeback, and then something actually interesting happens. Sheamus is set up in a corner, and then Rikishi possesses Dolph Ziggler's body. Dolph Ziggler pulls his trunks back, lets his ass loose, and smothers Sheamus' face in it. After Sheamus was done making out of Dolph's ass, he crawled out of the ring, basically dry heaving. Went to get some water, washed out his mouth. Then he went back in the ring, going for a bro kick, only for Dolf to duck and super kick him. 1-2 kick out. Sheamus gets up, starts beating down on Ziggler. White noise, and then cloverleaf. And after a bit of suffering, Dolph Ziggler manages to get to the rope. Sheamus holds on to the move, making sure to batter Dolph Ziggler's back with his little 5 seconds of reprieve. Once Sheamus is finally off of Dolph Ziggler, Dolph starts elbowing Sheamus away from him, then he headbutts Sheamus to get Sheamus away. This, of course, was a stupid move because by headbutting Sheamus, for those of you who don't know, a headbutt fucking hurts, even if you're the one doing it. A now battered Dolph Ziggler, who can barely stand, gets up onto his knees and will get bro kicked in the face. 1, 2, 3, Sheamus wins. The next match of the night was The New Day versus Tyson Kidd and Antonio Cesaro. No, I don't care if his name is Cesaro now. I'm still going to call him Antonio Cesaro. Anyway, this was a 2 out of 3 falls match. And I don't remember enough to give a play-by-play, so I'm just going to give highlights. Highlight number 1. The New Day were made to look like jobbers in fall number 1. Fall number 1 ends with the big swing into Tyson's drop kick, pinning Kofi Kingston. After this happens, let's see, what happened to Tyson to injure him? Because I remember at this point, the New Day did something. Oh, right, I remember now. Tyson started smacking around Kofi and Big E on his own because, like I said, the first fall they were dominating, so second fall domination continued for a bit. And as Tyson flings himself out of the ring at Big E catches Tyson Kidd and launches him with a nice belly-to-belly suplex on the outside of the ring so hard that Tyson was apparently injured by this. From this point on, Tyson is a fucking punching bag. Big E and Kofi let out all their frustrations on Tyson. Then with Kofi Kingston's legal man, Big E spears Cesaro through the ropes and then comes back in, hoisting Tyson Kidd up over his shoulder and hitting the Midnight Rod, I think they called it. Wait, no, the Midnight Hour. They hit the Midnight Hour on Tyson Kidd and get the pinfall. It's now tied 1-1. With that, they continue to beat down on Tyson, beat down on Tyson, beat down on Tyson. Cesaro finally gets to the rope, and Tyson manages to get him tagged in. Cesaro proceeds to uppercut Kofi Kingston's head off. Seriously, the fact that Kofi Kingston is still one piece is amazing. And after he completely bats and Tyson Kidd hoists Kofi up right into Cesaro's fist. With that, Big E comes in to save Kofi and tosses Tyson Kidd out of, well, clotheslines Tyson Kidd and tosses him out of the ring. With now out of the ring, Cesaro goes over to knock out Big E. As Cesaro goes to get Kofi and the ref is focused on getting Big E out of the ring, Kofi hangs Cesaro up on the rope, and then Xavier Woods slips into the ring without a shirt on and rolls up Cesaro in the inside cradle. From the position that Xavier has him in, it looks like it's Kofi who has the pin in. The referee counts 1, 2, cheats to win because, you know, heel. So with that, New Day retains their titles. The next match of the night was Ryback Wyatt. I really was not interested in this match at all. So, in short, Ryback Ryback's dominating. Bray Wyatt slides out of the ring. He clotheslines Ryback as Ryback's going after him. Bray Wyatt beats up Ryback a bit. Ryback starts beating up Bray Wyatt a bit. They both end up on the apron. Bray Wyatt DTs Ryback's onto the apron. Then as the ref's trying to get Bray back in the ring, Bray jumps from the apron, hitting his running senton on Ryback, supposedly breaking Ryback's ribs. From there, Bray Wyatt tosses Ryback into the ring, goes for the pin, 1-2, kick out. With that, Bray Wyatt closes in on Ryback, only to get punched away and knocked down. Ryback then climbs up to the top rope and hits a frog splash on Bray Wyatt. Of course, frog splashes aren't good for the ribs, so after his near fall, Ryback's a little worse for wear. Bray Wyatt, realizing this, goes for Sister Abigail, which gets countered into a shell shock, which gets blocked as Bray Wyatt grabs onto the top rope and turnbuckle. As Ryback pulls him away from the turnbuckle, Bray manages to get the top turnbuckle loose. With that, Bray shoves Ryback into the top turnbuckle, somehow hitting his ribs on the top turnbuckle. That's not possible, WWE. And then he hits the Sister Abigail onto Ryback. 1, 2, 3, Bray Wyatt defeats the big guy. The next match of the night was it the I Quit match? Hold on, I need to take a mental note of all the matches that took place tonight. Yes, it was the I Quit match between John Cena and Rusev. Again, no way in hell can I give you a play-by-play of this match. So, highlights! Exactly. Wait, no. Slowly coming back to me. Rusev starts off the match by essentially saying, "Come on, Cena, half of this crowd hates you. Spare them the trouble of watching this match and just say I quit." Ref asks Cena, "Do you want to quit?" "Well, you see, Bob, punch, punch, punch." So, after that clear and concise no, Rusev gives Cena a swift kick to the gut that floors Cena because Cena's a fucking pussy unless the... Seriously, it makes no sense how Cena can be taken down so easily from one kick, yet he can't ever give up or be pinned by anybody. WWE released a... whatever. Anyway, so after one kick, Cena's down on the ground, and Rusev has a clear advantage as he stalks Cena, slowly beating on him, asking after every goddamn move if Cena's gonna quit. Of course, Cena keeps saying no. Rusev, who apparently has a bigger ego than Donald Trump, despite the match having just started, has Lana get hit the Russian flag and starts waving it in the ring over a downed Cena. He then goes back out to give Lana the flag again, and goes back only to get beat up by John Cena, who woke up. Fight. They end up on the outside of the ring. Cena slams Rusev into the post. Cena puts Rusev on top of the barricade. "If you don't quit, I'm going to put you through this barricade." "Do you quit, Rusev?" "No, I don't quit." Cena spears him through the barricade. And I forgot things. See, this is why I said I couldn't give you a play-by-play. Before Cena regained the advantage, Rusev decided to bring some steel steps into the ring. Rusev intended on pile driving Cena onto the steel steps, which would have been fucking awesome. Too bad for Rusev, Cena said fuck you and back body dropped him onto the ring. After that, Cena proceeded to punch Rusev over and over again. Cena then runs at Rusev, only gets sidewalk slammed on. Cena still refuses to quit. Rusev does something, don't remember what. which leads to Cena hoisting him up over his shoulders and AA him onto the steel. Rusev's asked if he wants to quit for the first time in the match, and after a lot, and I mean a lot, of wheezing to catch his breath, Rusev says no. Then they go to the outside and Cena spears him for the barricade. At that point, it becomes a brawl throughout the crowd, with them constantly slamming each other into tables and beating each other with monitors and slamming each other into more tables before the brawl ends up at the top of the ramp. At the top of the ramp, Rusev knocks out Cena and notices the pyro table. He plays it for a bit, learns where the pyro is, and pushes Cena up towards the pyro. Rusev waits for Cena to get up and goes for a super kick, only for Cena to duck out of the way, push Rusev up to his shoulders, and AA him onto the pyro, triggering it and making it blow up on Rusev. At this point, Lana gets worried, and she runs up to check on Rusev. Referee asks Rusev if he wants to quit, and Rusev shows that he is a tough son of a bitch, because even having pyro blow up on top of him won't make him quit. Cena then goes back behind the fans and somehow finds an old school barricade. Why that's there, I will never know, but Cena proceeds to beat Rusev with said barricade down towards the ring. Cena leans the barricade up against the ring, asks again, Rusev, do you quit? Rusev says no. Cena gets ready to AA Rusev onto the steel, but Rusev counters and suplexes Cena through it. I don't remember if they actually asked Cena if... Oh yeah, they did. They asked Cena if he wanted to quit, and Cena says hell no. Because, you know, you just gotta exclamate that the hell. For no reason whatsoever. With that, Rusev gets frustrated and throws Cena into the ring. He goes in after Cena, super kicks Cena, and then locks Cena into the accolade. Cena gets up and tries to get Rusev off him by slamming him into the post over and over again. Rusev keeps his grip though and ends up making Cena pass out. With this, Rusev, who I'm assuming wasn't really notified of how American Idol matches work, assumed he won because Cena was unconscious and unable to compete. But that's not the case. In an I Quit match, they have to utter the words I quit. With this, Rusev goes over to one of the turnbuckles and takes off the pad. Then, he takes off the entire freaking turnbuckle. With that, he leaves the ring, gets some water, splashes on Cena and revives Cena. He then gets set up in the corner, holding the turnbuckle in his hand, and going to smash Cena in the face of it. But despite having literally just woken up from unconsciousness, Cena has the wherewithal to actually duck out of the way. He clips Rusev's leg and goes for the STFU, utilizing the rope to submission. During which, referee asks Rusev, do you quit? And then Rusev started saying things in Russian. He said no, something with an R, and then just went on a Russian rant. I assume he said no surrender. That's my assumption, because no, whatever that R word was, sounded like, well, the word no, and then surrender to me. That's my assumption. But anyway, as Rusev is screaming and screaming and screaming, Lana, who was showing a massive amount of concern for Rusev, runs in with a microphone saying, stop, 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 he quits, he quits. Now, I'm not sure if this was her translating Rusev's Bulgarian, or if this was just Lana throwing in the towel for her client since she is his manager. But ultimately it doesn't matter because of Lana, John Cena wins. Cena leaves and we see Lana in the ring looking over Rusev. It seems once again I stupidly forgot something. After the first match of the night, which if you recall was Dolph Ziggler versus Sheamus, we had a nice little scene backstage of Kane talking to who I assume was Triple H. As Kane hangs up the phone, Seth Rollins comes in. They have a discussion over the crap they did to each other in the last few weeks, And then Kane lets Seth Rollins know, although he enjoys his job, he doesn't need his job. And even if Seth Rollins loses his title and he gets what he wants, Kane being fired, Kane still gets what he wants, Seth no longer being the WWE champion. If that Seth says he respects Kane's honesty, but if he loses his title tonight, Kane losing his job will not be the least of Kane's worries. With that, J&J Security try to look threatening, and then Seth and J&J leave. Now that that little blank space has been filled up, we move on to another backstage segment after the U.S. title match, in which we see the New Day talking to Todd, whatever the hell his name is, and they were talking about how the New Day is an inspiration. They don't curse, they don't complain, they win. The New Day is great. Then Then Todd tells them he has news for them about the Elimination Chamber, with which Xavier says, "We know, Todd, it's old news. There's gonna be an Elimination Chamber match for the Intercontinental title. It's exciting and all, but that's old news, man. Come on." He's like, No. I want to let you guys know that you guys, the New Day, are going to be defending your tag team championships in the first ever tag team Elimination Chamber match. Yeah, shit's going to get wild, Elimination Chamber. I'm really looking forward to it now. And with that, Xavier starts cursing and complaining. New Day rocks. New Day rocks. And the New Day leaves pretty damn pissed. With that, it's time for the tag team match. The Bellas versus Tamina and Naomi. I'll give you a guess of how interested I was. Skipping to the end. A rare view to Nikki Bella. 1-2, Nikki kicks out. Brawling on the outside with Brie getting the upper hand. Nikki beats down Naomi and climbs to the top rope. I'm assuming to super fly splash her as an insult. That's what I assumed she was going to do it. We never see Nikki go to the top that often. But as Nikki's climbing up top, Tamina manages to grab hold of Brie Bella and launch her into the barricade. Nikki looks over at her sister as she's knocked into the barricade, only to be flung down from the top rope into the center of the ring and pinned by Naomi, in what is without a doubt the lamest finish to a match to ever fucking happen. The idiocy of that ending aside, the next match was King Barrett versus Adrien Nevil, another match I was not interested in. Long match short, Wade Barrett loses by count out. I honestly don't care to explain that match because I don't remember most of it. It did not interest me at all. The only point of that match I truly remember was when Wade Barrett set up his bullhammer as Adrien was on the top, planning to catch him like he did on the night of the King of the Ring tournament. But Adrien Nevil saw it coming and did a mid-air arm drag of sorts on Wade Barrett when he tried to bullhammer him. That was the only interesting part of this match. With Wade Barrett now lost by countout, Adrien Nevil turns his back and starts to celebrate, only for Wade Barrett to come in and beat down on Nevil, knock him out of the ring, toss him into the barricade, toss him back into the ring, and go for a bullhammer, which Adrien ducks out of the way of, and proceeds to kick Barrett so hard in the skull that Barrett's knocked out cold. Wait, why'd I say he ducked out of the way? No, he didn't. He actually got hit. My apologies. The only reason I remember he got hit was because I just remembered Wade Barrett proceeded to put on his crown, his cape, and grab his scepter. During which, Adrien Nevil gets up and kicks him in the skull so hard he's knocked out. Now the king in all of his royal regalia is dragged in front of the top rope, and he proceeds to get executed by a red arrow. With that, Adrien Nevil leaves with a victory and a downed king at his wake.
It is now time for the main event. Seth Rollins versus Randy Orton versus Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns. In short, the entire beginning of the match was a brawl between the Authority and Orton, Ambrose, and Reigns. Once this brawl essentially ends with the Authority getting wiped out, Seth then has to hold off all of the good guys. First he holds off Dean, then he holds off Orton, then he holds off Reigns. Of course it doesn't last, and they finally get the advantage over Seth. With that, they all start turning on each other, and no way in hell can I keep track of the order of which they turn on each other. So I'm just going to skip to the best part, the best part of the fucking match. With the Authority all done for, and a brawl ensuing, they all end up in front of the announce table, which Roman Reigns cleared, with JBL saying a funny line. Hey, why are you taking down our announce table? The Spanish announce table's right there, because we all know the Spanish announce table is the victim of fucking everything. But that's not the best part. The best part is when everyone brawls into the table, and Randy's now leading on it as all three Shield members stare at him. Seth says, "Let's put him for a table." And do. Roman Reigns calls for it. Seth and Dean lift Randy Orton up. And in old school Shield fashion, Randy gets triple powerbombed through the table. With Randy now wiped out, the Shield guys are all happy and celebrating and hugging, and yeah, it's good, everything's good. Seth puts his fist in, and Roman and Dean's smiles disappear as they glare at Seth Rollins. Seth, realizing that he's utterly fucked, gets beaten the shit out of. And then Dean and Roman get ready to powerbomb him for the Spanish announce table, only for Kane to come in and try to save Seth. In the end, Kane gets beaten down and double powerbombed onto the table, which Seth is now laying on, but it doesn't break. The fans start chanting, "One more time! One more time! One more time!" And as the fans request, they hoist Kane up and once more slam him onto the special announce table, this time breaking the table, Kane and Seth Rollins. With that, Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose get in the ring and they start going at it. Counters and signatures galore until Roman Reigns spears Dean Ambrose and goes for the 1-2. Holy shit, Seth Rollins is immortal because he jumps in and saves his belt. More fighting, brawl, 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 brawl. Fuck it. With everybody eliminated except for Seth Rollins and Randy Orton, Seth kicks Orton in the gut, sets up the pedigree, and pedigrees Randy onto his face. 1, 2, 3. Seth Rollins manages to retain his title thanks to the assistance of Kane and J&J Security. With that, Seth licks his wounds, grabs his title, and crawls out of the ring for Triple H to come up at the ramp and help Seth to his feet as they walk out victorious, leaving behind Kane because fuck Kane apparently. So yeah, I apologize for not being exactly as far with these matches as I should have been, but honestly I was kind of distracted by a discussion I was having with a friend at the time, so yeah. The matches that kept my attention were pretty decent, although I'm honestly tired of I didn't care for Wade Barrett versus AJ Nevil. I didn't care for Ryback versus Bray Wyatt, although I guess there were some decent spots. Like, it's very rare you actually see a DDT on the apron, and I guess Bray Wyatt's 10 off the apron was okay-ish. But ultimately, other than the tag match, the I Quit match, and the Fatal 4-Way, nothing really stood out that much. Macho Mandow versus the Ascension, which I was looking forward to, was actually kind of a letdown. And I guess I shouldn't be surprised. I mean, it was a pre-show match, so it's my own fault for expecting much of it. For the first time ever, I'm not going to give a pay-per-view a higher score than it deserves. I'm going to give this pay-per-view about a 7.5 at the most. It was a decent pay-per-view, but some of the matches were just bleh. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys tomorrow at the Binding of Isaac. Deuces, YouTube.